Today we will listen to the words of Mark Twain, who with his sharp humor and unique wisdom, makes us rethink the way we face life. His quotes inspire us to overcome fears, embrace challenges, and find strength in adversity. Get ready to be motivated and laugh as we reflect together on how to live more authentically and courageously. Before we start, just make sure you are already subscribed to this channel, because I am preparing a special series with the best quotes from Twain to help you face life with more lightness and purpose. Let's get started. The hardest thing to learn in life is which bridge to cross and which to burn. On our journey, we face difficult choices and often make decisions based on fear. But true wisdom lies in learning to recognize which paths will lead us to growth and which ones need to be left behind so we can move forward with ease. Life offers us many opportunities, but it is up to us to recognize them. When we are open to possibilities, each day brings with it a chance for transformation. Today's failure can be the foundation for tomorrow's success if we learn to see challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than as insurmountable obstacles. If you want to live a life without regrets, start by living according to your own principles, not by the standards of others. The world will always try to mold you according to its expectations, but only when we are true to ourselves do we find true happiness and peace of mind. The fear of others' judgment should never be stronger than our own truth. True greatness lies in serving others. Those who seek power or success for themselves often find it to be an empty illusion. But those who live to help and inspire others leave an indelible mark on the world. When we place ourselves in service to something greater than ourselves, we discover our true purpose. Let me tell you something. The simple fact that you took the time to listen to these lessons already makes you the smartest and far ahead of most people. It doesn't matter how you listen to these quotes, whether you're washing the dishes, cleaning the house, exercising, or lying down for a moment of rest. If you were able to reflect, that's what matters. Tell me in the comments, what are you doing while listening to these lessons? There is something extraordinarily liberating about letting go of the need to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion, and the pursuit of it is the greatest enemy of creativity and authenticity. When we accept our imperfections and flaws, we give ourselves the freedom to grow, learn, and evolve without the burden of judgment. If you spend your life waiting for the perfect path to appear before you, you will never get anywhere. The right path is not always the clearest, but it reveals itself as we move forward, step by step, with courage and determination. Action is the key to discovering our destiny. The paralysis of fear is what keeps us stagnant. The only way to truly find your place in the world is to go out and find it. Life doesn't happen while we sit around waiting for something to change on its own. We must venture, explore, try and fail, and above all, never give up. Comfort is the greatest enemy of progress, and those who risk leaving their safe haven are the ones who discover the greatest achievements. If you can't change the circumstances around you, change the way you react to them. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but about learning to dance in the rain. The ability to adapt to challenges, without losing faith and hope, is the secret to overcoming any adversity. Dreams are the raw material of every great achievement, but they are nothing without action. Dreaming is only the first step. Those who have the courage to turn their dreams into plans and then into actions are the ones who truly shape the world around them. Inertia is the greatest enemy of great dreamers. Happiness is not something you find at the end of the road, but something you create along the way. Waiting for happiness as if it were a future reward is missing out on the beauty of the moments that life offers each day. Learn to find joy in the little things, in the challenges overcome, and in the connections made with those around you. Those who live stuck in the past carry the weight of an anchor that prevents them from moving forward. The past teaches us, but it does not define us. Each new day is an opportunity to write a new story, to leave behind what no longer serves us and embrace the unknown with the courage of those who know that the future is built in the present. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. The greatest successes are born from the biggest mistakes. Failure is not the end of the road, but rather a lesson that teaches us how to find the right path. Those who avoid failing also avoid growing, and growth is the essence of life. The man who learns to trust himself will never be lost. Self-confidence is the foundation of all great achievements, for those who believe in their abilities are the ones who transform dreams into reality. Doubt is the poison that paralyzes, while confidence is the fuel that moves us forward. If you spend your life waiting for the perfect moment, you will discover too late that it will never come. The secret to achieving success is to act, not to wait. Each day brings with it a new opportunity, and those who know how to recognize this are the ones who reap the richest fruits of life. What you do for yourself fades with time, but what you do for others becomes immortal. The true measure of a life well lived is not what we achieve, but the positive impact we leave on the people around us. When you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to stop and reflect. After all, the world was never shaped by those who simply followed the crowd. True progress happens when someone has the courage to be different and the good sense to realize that the popular path is not always the right one. The most curious thing about human beings is that they spend most of their lives waiting for the perfect conditions to act, when in fact they never exist. Success, oddly enough, is the byproduct of those who have decided to act in chaos and learn from the mess. Courage is resistance to fear, not the absence of it. Those who say they are not afraid have probably not done anything great in life. What defines us is not fear, but what we do with it. If it paralyzes us, we lose. If we master it, we discover that we are much stronger than we imagined. The problem is not what you don't know, but what you are sure you know, and that is wrong. Ignorance is easily corrected with learning, but the stubborn certainty that holds us to false truths is the greatest obstacle to personal growth. If only we had the wisdom to live life backwards, start at 80, with the wisdom and calm of someone who has been through it all, and then enjoy our youth with all the experience we have accumulated. Unfortunately, life gives us our youth first, when we don't know what to do with it. It's funny how people spend so much time worrying about what others think of them. The truth is that most people are so busy thinking about themselves that they barely have time to think about you. So stop living by other people's opinions and do what really matters to you. The only way to stay young is to do something that scares you every day. Routine is the fastest way to age the soul. When we challenge ourselves to leave our comfort zone, we discover an inexhaustible source of energy and renewal. Avoiding danger is not nearly as safe as facing it. Cowardice, disguised as prudence, keeps a person alive longer, but without really living. The real danger lies in going through life without ever risking heart or mind. Life is a great experiment, and every mistake is only proof that you are trying something new. If you never fail, it is because you are playing it safe, and there is nothing safe in living in fear of failure. Failure is, in fact, the path to victory. The two most important days of your life are the day you are born and the day you discover why. And in between we spend years trying to find that purpose, only to realize, too late, that it has always been before us, in the little things we love to do. You can fool some of the people all of the time, or all of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Truth is a stubborn old woman. It always comes out, sooner or later. So it's best to live honestly from the start. If hard work guaranteed wealth, then dumb people would be millionaires. The real key to success is not just effort, but intelligent effort, the kind that's focused on what really matters. Never let the fear of failure stop you from playing the game. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of it. Life is a series of trials and errors, and the biggest mistake of all is never trying for fear of failure. Patience is a virtue, especially if you are waiting for the next train. But when it comes to your dreams and aspirations, action is the only virtue that really counts. Time waits for no one, and those who wait too long often miss the best opportunities. It is curious how formal education sometimes gets in the way of real learning. We learn much more by making mistakes and experimenting than by just following the rules. The great innovators in history were those who knew how to break the rules when necessary. Life would be so much simpler if we stopped complicating everything. Human beings have an incredible ability to transform the simple into something incredibly complicated. When we learn to focus on what is really important, things begin to make sense. True freedom lies in living without the burden of the past and without the fear of the future. The present is all we really have, and those who master the art of living in the now are the ones who experience true peace of mind. There is a peace that comes from accepting that we cannot control everything. When we stop trying to change what is beyond our reach, we find serenity and focus on what we can truly change, ourselves. Leave the quote that had the biggest impact on you in the comments below. I'll tell you about my favorite from this video. It goes like this. The older I get, the more I realize that optimism is a choice. Pessimism may seem more realistic, but it's optimism that moves us forward, makes us get up in the morning and try again. Not because we believe that everything will work out, but because we know that the effort is worth it. If you are afraid of failure, then you have already failed. The great truth is that success is built on a foundation of mistakes, stumbles, and failures. Every time we fail, we learn something new and important, and that is the true definition of progress. If you want to achieve the impossible, start by believing that it is possible. The greatest obstacle we have in our lives is the limitations we place on our minds. Those who dare to dream big are the ones who ultimately accomplish great things. The irony of life is that we spend so much time trying to plan and control the future, but life always finds a way to surprise us. True wisdom lies in learning to ride the waves of uncertainty, rather than trying to fight them. The problem with the world is that fools are certain of everything, while wise people are full of doubt. Doubt is what makes us question and grow, while absolute certainty keeps us trapped in our own limitations. If you can't change the wind, adjust the sails. Life is not about what happens to you, but how you react to it. True freedom lies in choosing how we respond to circumstances, even when they are not what we expected. The true test of character is not how you act when everything is going well, but how you behave when everything is falling apart. Dignity and strength in the face of adversity are what define us as human beings. Most people spend their lives complaining about the chains that bind them, without realizing that they themselves hold the key. Fear of taking risks keeps us trapped in a life of mediocrity. The key to freedom lies in the courage to follow one's own path. What keeps us from achieving success is not a lack of talent, but a lack of courage to try. The greatest waste is the person who never dared to follow his dreams for fear of failure. Happiness is a state of mind, not a destination. Expecting happiness to come with the achievement of a goal is a trap. True happiness lies in appreciating each step of the journey, not just the arrival. The hardest thing in life is learning to say no. We spend so much time trying to please others that we forget to take care of ourselves. True power lies in knowing how to set limits and live by them. If you want real change in your life, stop waiting for it to come from outside. Change begins within us, and it is only when we change the way we think and act that the world around us begins to transform. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but what dies inside us while we are still alive. When we stop dreaming, taking risks, and loving, we lose the essence of what it really means to be alive. There is a secret to being truly free, not waiting for the world to give you what you want, but learning to create what you need. True freedom is not in having everything under control, but in accepting that life is a controllable chaos, and that is what makes it all the more interesting. You will never know the true extent of your strength until being strong is the only choice you have left. In the moments of greatest challenge, we discover capabilities within ourselves that we never imagined we had. It is in adversity that true character is revealed. When we focus too much on what has already happened or what may happen, we lose the only thing we truly have, the present. Life only happens in the now, and those who learn to focus on the present are the ones who experience true freedom and happiness. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time with more wisdom. There is no path without stumbles, and it is through falls that we learn to walk more firmly and securely. Those who are afraid of failure will never taste victory. If you wait for the perfect moment to do something, you will end up waiting forever. There is no ideal moment. The ideal is to act now with what we have, with what we are. Time does not stand still, and opportunities disappear as quickly as they appear. There is a funny thing about success. It is much more about persistence than talent. Most people give up when the going gets tough, but those who keep going, even when the path seems dead-end, are the ones who reap the greatest rewards. Self-confidence is a gift you give yourself. Don't wait for the world to recognize your worth before you believe in it yourself. When you trust who you are and what you can do, the world begins to align with that vision, and opportunities you never imagined arise. One of the great ironies of life is that often the things we fear the most are the ones that end up bringing us the most joy and growth. Fear of the unknown keeps us trapped in a mediocre life, but those who have the courage to face that fear discover a world of possibilities. If you don't like where you are, move. You are not a tree. Life is full of choices, and staying in the same place with the same frustrations is as much an active decision as seeking something new. Comfort can be a prison in disguise. The great secret to peace of mind is to let go of the need to have everything under control. Control is an illusion. The only thing we can truly control is how we respond to situations. When we learn to flow with change, we find true freedom. Most people spend so much time worrying about what others think of them that they forget to worry about what others think of them. True success is being true to who you are, regardless of external expectations. When you fail, it's not the end of the road, it's just a curve. Life is full of unexpected detours, and what seems like a roadblock may actually be an opportunity in disguise for you to find a better path. Be stubborn with your goals, but flexible with your methods. Life rarely goes the way we plan, and those who learn to adapt without losing sight of the final destination are the ones who ultimately succeed. Pessimism may be attractive because it seems realistic, but it is optimism that creates the future. Pessimism looks at what is wrong and resigns itself. Optimism acknowledges the problems and seeks solutions. The future belongs to those who believe they can shape it. You may not control the events that happen to you, but you can control how those events shape who you become. We are not defined by what happens to us, but by how we respond to it. The path to success is not a straight line. It is full of twists, turns, and setbacks. But what separates those who succeed from those who fail is the willingness to keep walking, even when the path seems uncertain. Be the person who, when everyone else is silent, has the courage to speak up. The voice of truth is not always the loudest, but it is the one that resonates the deepest. Often, the courage to be honest is what transforms situations, people, and even the world. It's funny how life rarely goes as planned, and yet the most memorable moments are those that arise from surprises and unexpected changes. When you learn to embrace the unexpected, you discover that life has more to offer than you could ever imagine. If life were predictable, it wouldn't be life at all. It would be a dull routine. Uncertainty is what colors existence and keeps us moving. The sooner we accept that the future is uncharted territory, the more we can fully enjoy the present. The secret to success is constancy of purpose. It doesn't matter how many times you stumble or get sidetracked, as long as you keep the goal clear in your mind and keep moving forward. The sooner you realize that failure is just a word used to describe learning, the faster you will begin to move forward. Every mistake is a potential lesson, and every fall is an opportunity to rise stronger. If your life isn't going the way you expected, remember that you always have the power to change course. The path you take is the result of the choices you make, and new choices can lead to new destinations. The man who never makes mistakes usually does nothing. The fear of making mistakes is the barrier that separates those who dream from those who achieve. True progress only happens when we are willing to risk failure in the name of innovation. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you create in the present. The idea that we will be happy only when we achieve a certain goal is a trap. True joy comes from learning to enjoy the journey. One of the greatest discoveries you can make is that life is not a problem to be solved, but an experience to be lived. Perfection is an illusion, and what really matters is how you choose to live with imperfections. The problem with time is that it keeps moving forward, whether you keep up with it or not. The sooner you realize that procrastination is the greatest enemy of success, the sooner you will begin to take the steps necessary to achieve your goals. Success is not an end point. It is a continuous journey. Those who think that success is the final destination soon discover that there is always a new challenge ahead. True success is learning to love the journey, with its ups and downs. If you think that hard work is the path to success, you are partly right. But the real secret is working smart, focusing your efforts on the things that really make a difference. What keeps us from achieving success is not the mountains we have to climb, but the grains of sand we allow to get into our shoes. Small obstacles, if ignored, can become big problems. Every day you wait to start is a day lost that will never be recovered. Time is the most valuable resource you have, and the sooner you start using it wisely, the sooner you will reap the rewards of your efforts. True freedom comes from accepting that you cannot control everything. When we stop fighting what is beyond our control, we find peace and clarity to focus on what we can actually change. If you spend your life waiting for perfection, you will never accomplish anything. The secret is to start where you are, with what you have, and improve as you go. Progress is a continuous process, not a fixed destination. There is nothing more powerful than a determined mind. When you decide that you are going to achieve something, and put your whole heart, mind, and soul into it, there is no obstacle that can stop you from moving forward. Human beings are the only animals that can live in the future without actually being there. We spend so much time worrying about what might happen that we forget to live in what is happening now. Life only happens in the present. Those who never make mistakes never do anything significant. The fear of making mistakes is the greatest obstacle to success. Those who want to achieve great things must accept failure as part of the process. The key to success is understanding that no one else is going to do the work for you. If you want something, you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves and do whatever it takes. Waiting for a magic solution will only leave you stuck in the same place. There is a strange freedom that comes when you accept that you can't please everyone. Most people spend their lives trying to mold themselves to fit other people's expectations. But true success lies in being true to yourself, regardless of what others expect. Life never guarantees a straight and easy path. In fact, if the path seems too easy, you may be headed in the wrong direction. The greatest successes come from those who accept obstacles and face them head-on, because they know that it is these difficulties that shape us. What separates ordinary people from those who achieve great things is not talent, but the willingness to keep going, even when success seems unlikely. Persistence is the most powerful virtue you can cultivate, because chances are most people will give up before you do. Honesty is the most precious thing you have, and it should be used sparingly. The world is full of lies and deception, but those who live with integrity inevitably end up standing out. Truth may be a difficult road, but it always leads to more solid destinations. If you spend your life waiting for the perfect conditions to act, you will end up waiting forever. The secret to success is not in finding the right moment, but in creating that moment. Opportunities do not appear. They are made by those who have the courage to act. The happiest men are those who live for others. The secret of happiness is not in seeking pleasure or success for yourself, but in learning to share your achievements, your kindness, and your wisdom with those around you. Life only makes sense when it is lived in community. Every problem we face in life is a lesson in disguise, and the trick is to learn the lesson before the problem repeats itself. Life has a funny way of teaching us what we need to know. And if you don't learn it the first time, you can bet that the lesson will come knocking at your door again. Life is a dance, and the trick is to learn to move to the rhythm it demands. Sometimes you lead, and other times life takes over. No matter the rhythm, the secret is to keep moving. Stopping is the one thing you can't do. If there's one thing I've learned over the years, it's that time heals almost everything. No matter how big the problem, or how devastating the loss, time has a gentle way of smoothing out the rough edges. But while time is doing its work, patience is the greatest virtue. You can fail 1,000 times and still be closer to success than someone who never tried. Failure is not an enemy, it's a teacher. Every mistake you make is a step toward success. The real failure is never having tried. The bravest thing you can do is follow your own dreams, even when no one else believes in them. The world is full of people who give up too soon, who settle for what seems safe. But great things are accomplished by those who continue to follow what they believe in, even when the path seems impossible. The man who prides himself on his honesty usually has none. True virtue does not need to be advertised. It speaks for itself in everyday actions, in the little gestures that make a difference. If you live with integrity, people will notice, even if you never have to say a word. There is greatness in accepting things as they are, rather than as you wish they were. Resistance to what we cannot change is what causes the most suffering. When you learn to accept what life gives you and work with it, rather than fight it, you discover a strength you never knew you had. As you reflect on these powerful quotes from Mark Twain, remember that wisdom lies not only in hearing them, but in applying them to your daily life. How many times have you found yourself stuck in limiting thoughts, or feeling like you weren't living your life to the fullest? Each of these quotes is a powerful insight to help you transform your mindset and live a more authentic and courageous life. If you feel inspired and want to continue this journey of personal growth, be sure to watch the other videos on the channel. Each new quote can be the boost you need to face your challenges with greater strength and clarity.